Jasmine. I'm so happy to be here. I have a nice panel of guests with me, starting with our host, Ian. Give him a clap, y'all. He does a really good job. So what we'll do tonight is we will just get to know some of the players that we have tonight, but then also really dig in, understand what the holiday showcase is. And I'm very happy to present this project, present this annual event. But Ian, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey everyone who doesn't know me, my name is Ian Lynham. I've been doing this event going on 9 years now. It holds a very special place in my heart, and I'm super excited. Every single year, it has grown exponentially to what it is now. It started off in Springfield, Eugene, Oregon, with just local men's players. So I grew up playing football my entire life. Played a year of college football, well out of my depth, so I don't even like to talk about that. But played a couple years of semi-pro football up here in the state of Oregon, and um, the events, like I said, has been around since for 9 years, since 2015, 2016, excuse me. It originally started off an idea. A good friend of mine, Chris Ryu, he was the league commissioner from the first semi-pro league I played in, the National Nine-Man Football League, and he hosted a game around one Christmas season. Offered players an opportunity to come play. They all paid money into it, and it all went to Shot for a Cop, which I thought was really, really cool. So the year after, when I wanted to play in that game, I asked him, was he doing it? And he mentioned he wasn't. So with his permission, his blessing to feel like I'm not taking over everything he was doing, I kind of started my own game. And it has grown into pretty much what it is. What started off as just the men has evolved into what it is now, where it's essentially just women. Um, for example, this year, how I said it's grown exponentially. I think every year never had any more than 60 to 70 players register to wanting to participate. This year, I've had close to 200, which is pretty amazing. Um, of those 186 players exactly, 127 of them are brand new players, first year players in the event, which is phenomenal. Um, the coaching staffs have also ballooned. I have 21 plus coaches who are going to be participating as well between our two games that we're holding. So with the 186 players, it's affording us the opportunity to run two games, which is pretty cool. Um, I have four different countries represented, four different leagues. Players from all over, tons of heavy hitters, such as our two guests we're going to have on later tonight. And I couldn't be happier. Toys for Tots holds a ton of special place in my heart. I was one of those kids who needed those safety net programs, such as Toys for Tots or after school programs, just because my family was very low income um, and just needed a lot of help. So anything I can possibly do to help one more kid not feel unloved or a little sad for not getting, anything to open on Christmas, I want to make sure I do. So this game is probably something I look forward to every single year. It's probably my most favorite time of the year, honestly. Yeah. I think I talked a little bit about myself, history of the event. Did I miss anything?
Well, I have to let people know I kind of had to beg Ian to do this. So I appreciate you for even opening it up this way because, in my experience of building rapport with you, you're not really the type of person who wants their face on something. And that kind of intrigued me to want to be a part of the event even more, just your level of humility. And so, again, I do appreciate you for allowing me to be a part of this event. So, November 16th, Las Vegas. How did the event end in Las Vegas? How do we end there?
So, like I mentioned before, the event used to always be up here in the Pacific Northwest, up here in between Eugene and Portland, and it's not the most desirable place to visit if you're not from here during that time of the year. It's really cold, it's rainy, or it's really snowy. So, um, it was a little bit of a struggle to try to get some people to want to visit Portland during the winter. But I had relocated back home to Southern California, which is where I'm from, Los Angeles area. And I wanted to continue the game, but I figured let's move it south since that's where I'm going to be. So there were a couple of options on locations to potentially host the game, and Vegas was the most desirable place to hold the game. So, a la Las Vegas. I think I think pretty much everyone who's going to want to spend a weekend in Vegas who's going to want to participate, do Vegas things and also play the sport they love. So I just feel like it's a perfect match. Vegas is growing into a huge sports town with the Raiders having moved there. The Las Vegas Aces are pretty much the best WNBA team right now.
Oh yeah.
The Oakland A's are going to be relocating there. The Vegas Knights won the Stanley Cup, so Vegas is turning into a sports town. It's known for sports betting, but it's turning into a sports town. So I feel it's just a perfect match.
Well, I can't wait to meet you all there. So specifically, and if this is something you don't, information that you don't have now, where exactly will the event be hosted in Vegas? If someone wants to reach out to you about the event, how can they do that, or where can people find information in general?
Absolutely. So last year we hosted the game at Cimarron Memorial High School. That was my first option for this year. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen. So I did have a alternate location, which I think unfortunately fell through as well. So I'm on to third options. I am being helped by a couple of local people who have feet on the ground, who are coaches, who are reaching out to their ADs to make sure that we are able to land a place. But I want to be very clear to all the players who have signed up, everyone who wants to come visit. Um, there are over 25 high schools in Las Vegas, and I guarantee that we're going to find a location. Just unfortunately, I don't have one locked down yet, so I do apologize. There are about 5 schools that I'm really, really targeting. I'm hoping to get that figured out sooner rather than later for everyone who wants to come visit, wants to start booking their hotels or Airbnbs. So I do apologize for that on my end, but I promise you I'm working on it daily. I literally just finished working on some Google Docs, updating rosters, jersey orders, DMing some players, texting some players. So I have no life. I pretty much only do this. So, in the nicest way of saying it, I have a ton of free time, unmarried, no kids myself. So I have a ton of free time, and I put a lot of my energy into this. Best way for someone to reach out to me if they're looking to learn more information about the game, they can visit us directly on Facebook or Instagram at Dream Big Holiday Showcase or Dream Big Athletics. Send us a DM or send us an email. Email addresses are located on both of them. And I'm pretty much always available. My phone's usually
And
always within
approachable.
arm's reach.
Yeah, that's how I
I
reached
like to
out to
think that I
you.
am. I
Yeah,
would like to think that I am.
yeah.
I'm not the biggest people person, but at the same time, I feel like I'm very, very friendly. At least I feel like I don't have a mean face. At least, but I can understand how maybe some people feel like I'm not as approachable. I promise I am. I'm just not smiley. One reason why I didn't necessarily want to be on any of the promotion because I really don't want the focus to be on me. Um, Not just because I want to be the man in the background. I want the focus to mainly be on the fundraiser, which is Toys for Tots, and honestly, all the players, all the very talented athletes we have. I don't want anyone to really focus on me or feel like I'm patting myself on the back because ultimately, it's not about me. I get nothing from this. I spend a lot of my own money on this game. Like I said, I give all my free time and energy to this game. Something I've been doing for 9 years, and I plan to do it for as long as I'm possible, as long as
Well,
I'm alive to be able to do it. So I don't feel like I should be the person receiving all the credit. It should be all the players. So I kind of want to keep focusing on that.
I love that, Ian. I really do. And that's what I'm talking about, that humility. And the more I talk to you, the more I want to be involved. And there was something earlier in one of our conversations. You told me that we discussed the entry fee. And
Mhm.
so the entry fee is actually a donation to Toys for Tots. So tell us a little bit about that.
Correct. So everyone who wants to come attend the game, which is really awesome, it's a really affordable entry fee. So it's either $5 or you're donating a brand new unwrapped toy that goes directly to Toys for Tots, which is awesome. So all the players they have their own registration fees, which goes towards their jerseys, the event as a whole, paying for rest, paying for facilities, all that stuff. But then also a portion of their um, registration fees goes towards a donation to Toys for Tots as well. So pretty much through the efforts of all of that, plus all the boxes I tend to set up around where I live out here in Eugene, Springfield. Um, I have some up in Salem, Oregon, about an hour north of us, and then I plan to go out to Las Vegas before the game to do some as well, to set them around the city. I'm anticipating anywhere from 40 to 50 boxes of toys collected, which is a substantial amount of toys for young kids to open on Christmas morning. So pretty pumped about that.
Yeah, so I really hope to see everyone in Vegas. But also, entry fee is just a toy. So if you want to bring two toys, three toys, I'm pretty sure Toys for Tots would appreciate it. And Ian has already told us why he chose Toys for Tots as his organization. So, what's really exciting this year, the event has actually expanded. So, tell us
Mhm.
how many athletes are participating this year, and I know normally, correct me if I'm wrong, you have one game, but you've expanded out to
Mhm.
two games this year. So just kind
Correct.
of dig into that for us.
So this year, I've had close to 200 players reach out wanting to participate. As of right now, there are 172 rostered players between our four rosters for our two games. Um, Essentially, when we first opened up this year's registration portal, it ballooned, which was amazing. Um, I want to say, 50 people register within 24 hours, which is
Wow.
crazy. I was literally sitting at my desk, not working. Shh, don't tell on me. But I was just constantly refreshing the registration portal, and the number just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, which is phenomenal. So I didn't want to turn away, close to 100 players. So I put a poll up on Instagram. I was like, hey, should we do two games? And everyone was like, yes, let's do two games. So that's
Yeah.
kind of how it came. There are a few people who feel like there was a little bit of favoritism, which I'll address right now before you even ask if you do. It definitely wasn't. Really, a lot of it came down to those who signed up first, and then also trying to keep teammates with teammates and just positionally make sure the game is as balanced as possible. Like, obviously, we can't have 13 quarterbacks, we can't have 27 running backs, we can't have 87 DBs. Now, granted, those are the positions where everyone wants to play, and I understand that, but obviously, it kind of came down to just selecting either those who signed up first, those who kind of have a little bit more experience in the game, and just kind of trying to create the best roster possible. So I do apologize to anyone who felt that they weren't selected from that, or they weren't favored, or I didn't feel they were good enough. That's clearly not it. I do apologize. I know that that has to sting a little bit. Definitely, as a former athlete myself, I know that I would be a little hurt for not being chosen or feeling like I wasn't chosen. But I promise you guys, it wasn't about that. Ultimately, I just want to have as best of event as I possibly can, and luckily, we have two really really good games for this event. So I'm super pumped about it. Names that I couldn't even dream to want to play. Like, I had a hit list or like a wish list, and luckily I was able to get quite a few people off of that list who wanted to participate, and
Nice.
those who I didn't even imagine who would want to play. So it's really cool. Like, literally, I've received so many DMs for people who I haven't even had a chance to reach out to or didn't even think would be interested, who have been clamoring for answer or questions, asking me questions about the game, and it's pretty cool about how much has traveled, how many people have
Yeah.
participated and speak so positively about it. So, which is great. I feel like it's getting bigger and better every single year. I feel like I'm trying to correct my own mistakes and make things bigger and better for the players. Um, Trust me, I've heard a lot of concerns, and I promise you, I've tried to address as many of them as possible, including we haven't really officially announced, but we kind of can if you're okay with it.
Yeah, this is your show, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So one big area that I wanted to do better at is creating a live stream. That's actually been a goal of mine for the past three or four events, and I'm not a tech guy. I barely even know how to use my phone. I had to learn. I've barely learned how to do a group message on Instagram maybe a month ago. I'm old, guys. I'm sorry. So that's been a huge goal of mine, to make sure that we're able to have a live stream for those who can't come attend the game. And luckily, we will this year. So Semi Pro Live will be at the game live, helping us with broadcasting the events, both games, to the world for everyone who can attend. So
Hey,
you're welcome.
I appreciate it. I look forward to it. Not only that, just like you said, like some of these athletes, the more that I guess you could say, cover women's professional tackle football, and you get to know these athletes. It's just really exciting to be able to pull these group of athletes together and present
Oh
them
yeah,
in a certain type of way. So it's truly an honor to be a part of this. So thank you, to the athletes, to everybody, and also to your
absolutely.
media, everyone who will be involved in order to make this happen. So, and because we have some very special guests, I don't want to hold them very long. We're all in like different areas of the state, different time zones. But
Yeah.
before we kind of switch gears here, Ian, talk a little bit more about who these professional athletes are, because these are not just anybody's, right? These are some
No,
of the best professional athletes in the nation. So, kind of tell us, who are these
absolutely.
athletes that will be a part of this game?
So, so I think when a lot of people look at women's football, they look at it as kind of really niche or kind of gimmicky, but it's really not. It's really, really not. So, I remember the first women's football game that I attended. Maybe 6, 7 years ago. It was a couple of my friends. They used to play on the Oregon Hawks, I believe, and I was absolutely amazed. Like I played football my entire life. I would like to think I was decent, but probably wasn't. It is what it is. But I've always been super amazed by just how much it resembles the sport of football. Like it doesn't look much different than when I played. I mean, obviously the game isn't as vertical as, the men's game. You don't have people throwing the ball 60 yards down the field, but at the same time, it's very technically sound football. Like some of the athletes who are playing are former Division 1 athletes, former Division 2 athletes. They are national gold medalists. They are all Americans, all pros, like literally some of the very best athletes at what they do. So it's absolutely phenomenal. There are actually players who play in these women's leagues that are probably better than a lot of the guys who I know, if being completely honest. This isn't trying to talk them up or be hyperbolic. It's really phenomenal, and just the way how the direction of the sport of women's football is going, it's pretty cool to watch it grow and to watch all the athletes, take themselves serious, take their brand seriously, and honestly train year round to, put their bodies on the line to play and honestly
Absolutely.
not be paid for it. Granted, I know there's an argument that the men aren't paid either as the guys who are playing like recreationally, but what both, in my opinion, the WFA and the WNFC are doing on trying to put women's football on the map is phenomenal. And I wish more people would give it a chance and pay attention to it. Like this again, I'm not trying to be hyperbolic or be over the top. It's pretty freaking amazing. Like, and I would just wish more people would just give it a chance. Some of these people who are playing the game are business owners. They're moms. They are full time college students. They are, they're, crushing it during the day, training at night, and going to battle on the weekend and doing it all over again, which is it's just awesome. I knew that I've always loved the sport, but I feel like the love of the game for a lot of these women is far greater than I've ever had, which is great,
Yep.
and it's amazing. I'm rambling on. I apologize, but a
It's
friend of
okay.
mine mentioned that essentially like a lot of the women who currently play now didn't have the opportunity to play when they were younger because football was always viewed as a male sport, or they just simply weren't allowed to try out or play, or they were just always pushed to the side, which it's kind of unfortunate. But like when I look back at it, when I was around that age of grade school, I probably felt the same way to a point. But I always knew tons of girls and women who were better athletes than me, so I never viewed them as lesser. I remember in high school, there were girls who were faster than me. There were girls who can jump higher than me. There were girls who literally can beat me one on one in basketball. It just is what
Mhm.
it is. So I mean, I've never viewed it as women are less athletic than men per se. It's just two different spectrums. Like you can't really compare the two. Um, and like I mentioned, with the trajectory of the women's sports taking off, especially women's football, I can genuinely see a true professional platform realistically within this decade. And I don't know how many women who are currently playing will still be around when that happens, but the young girls who are playing right now, playing tackle in Pop Warner or other leagues or playing flag, they're up next. And I know that they're
Hey,
watching
four
all
years
these
from
young
now.
women.
4 years
Oh yeah,
from
no,
now,
hey,
our
4 years from
representation
now, it's
the
gonna be in the
Olympics.
Olympics, which is
Yeah.
crazy. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like I don't know how many of you guys watch the international tournament, but there are some phenomenal athletes. Shout out to Madison Fulford. I mean, hey, girl's unguardable. She's a problem. But also football's an international game now. Mexico has a very good team. Australia's pretty decent as well. So I'm looking forward to the Olympics, honestly, in 2028. And I
Likewise.
actually I'm gonna make sure that I'm there as much as I possibly can, especially because I want to be back in LA at that time. But I'm gonna definitely
Hey,
make sure that I go check out the flag football.
I will do water bottles, towels, whatever, if I
I'll
can
do
be
whatever. I'll do
there.
whatever. I'll
you
carry
know,
bags. I'll carry bags. I'll
I'll carry
wipe off
bags,
mouthpieces.
whatever.
Yeah, whatever y'all
Whatever
need.
y'all
Hey,
need
if
me to
y'all need some
do.
extra roadies, I got you.
Whatever, yes. So I don't want to hold our guests much longer in. So, who do we have with us today?
So we have two of my favorite women's football players, and I mean that again, not just trying to blow smoke, but I generally mean it. I feel like I talked to both of these two throughout the week, even when the game isn't happening. I feel like I check in on all of them. I got Maria Fautali and Aezioni Nakai joining us. Both have played in this event before. Both are, clap it up. Both of them are all pros in the WNFC. Very, very talented players at their position. And I'm going to be more excited to have them participate in the game again. Yeah.
Well, welcome to both of you. Thank you for your time. So, before we begin, because I want the audience to understand that we're national right now. So,
Hmm.
I'm actually in Seattle, but tell us, where are you? And we can start with you, Maria. Where are you currently located?
So right now I'm in Kansas City. I just moved here a little bit before the season, so I'm here officially. So it's about 10:30 here. Yeah,
Thank
We
you for
won't hold
staying
you
up.
for longer, yes.
of
And
course.
AC, where are you located currently?
Right now I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada. Currently it's what 8:50 or what are we at? Yeah, 8:55 right now.
All right, so, and this is a question for both of you. What brought you to this event, and why is it so important that you participate? Because it's not something that's required. It's kind of a volunteer opportunity. So why did you choose this event?
I'll go
So
first.
I'll start. So definitely, Ian was a big part of that. It's definitely a breath of fresh air to meet a guy who cares so much about women's sports and women's football. And I just saw how genuine he was about it. So that definitely, him himself definitely drew me to the event. And then also just being around other players. It was my rookie season when I first played. So being around the other players, getting to meet other women in the league, and just learn from different coaches, that's definitely what made me want to go to it. And then after I played, I was like, yeah, I'm stuck in this for a minute.
So my understanding, Maria, this is your second appearance. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
I planned on playing last year, but I had an injury, so this will be my second year.
And AZ, my understanding that is this your fourth appearance?
Yes, this is actually my fourth. Yeah, it's my fourth appearance. Ooh, what really brought me out? One of my really good friends. She told me Ian's vision. She told me what it was about, and I was like, well, I'm a rookie, but being alongside of these amazing players that I have gotten to play with so far, like helped elevate my game. And that's one of those things that keeps me coming back. And not only that, Ian's vision, like helping kids, I'm for it all day, every day.
Nice. Now, speaking of playing with other players, are there any players that you guys look forward to playing with, or just maybe they were an opponent in your professional season and now you get to play together? Is there any juice? What I mean, is there anything that you want to spill? Anybody that you maybe want a round two with?
Let me
So,
start because AZ, AZ, I got your name written down. Because I'm gonna tell y'all a quick story. So we laugh about this all the time. So this past season, we played Denver, right? Me and AZ, like, we're friends, right? She plays D line, I play running back. So I come up the A gap. I think I'm free. Is that real? I think I'm free, right? I just see open field. And then I feel AZ. Boom. Boy, knocked me out so hard. And then I just remember AZ standing over talking to me. And she's like, I'm sorry, Maria. I love you. And just walked away. So I
Oh
gotta
my
get my
goodness.
get back on AZ. So I can't wait. I'm
Yes.
coming for the
So
ankles.
not the ankles. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, and maybe we should start here because AZ, you are a defensive lineman, and Maria, you are a running back, but neither of you are average, right? So, Ian sent me over a good amount of stats. I don't know if any leagues need like a stat man, but Ian may need to be your guy. So, just kind
I
of
got the
running through the
time.
list
We can
here.
negotiate a price.
So Az, you had 39 combined sacks and tackles for loss, 20
Defended.
passes defended or intercepted, and you've been the back-to-back trench player of the year. That's pretty impressive. What keeps you going, and why do you just keep coming back to the game that way?
Um, my team really keeps me going. My defensive group, when I tell you, you know, our chemistry goes off of our vibes, our family like mentality. Everything about that keeps me going. That's what fuels me. Like I promise you, I will ride for my family out there on that field, and that's what keeps me motivated. I'm not even gonna lie. I can't. It's just that vibe. There's nothing like that riding for someone that I know has my back as much as I have theirs.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
then
So
Maria, with you, and you did mention this, a very impressive year after a 2023 injury recovery. You had the highest kick return yards, 230 plus 10 returns, so that's more than 20 yards average per return. And you had the highest um, kick return last season, 90 yards. So tell us, how does your training translate to your performance on the field?
Yeah, so I was a track athlete in college, and then I transitioned to powerlifting. So kind of combined a little bit of like my speed and then my strength. And I've really been, I mean, the gym's kind of been my life since then. It's a huge part of my life. And then I got involved in strength conditioning. I coached a lot of college athletics, and it really helped me learn a lot just being around other strength coaches and how I can perfect my craft. So that was huge for me. I mean, because you learn something new every day in the game of strength conditioning, and I just learned from some OGs and how I can really just grow my game and get better. So that was big for me for sure.
Something I learned more and more as I cover women's professional tackle football is that all of the athletes have a totally different life or personality off the field. And AZ, I Instagram creeped a little bit, and I think something that we have in common is our auntie role. I love being an aunt. I don't have any kids myself, but I love being an aunt. So tell us about that role in your life.
Oh, the auntie role. I'm that auntie. Like your kids will act up when I come over. Oh yeah, that's my bean right there. It's my baby. I ride or die for my little babies. I love my little humans. When they get bigger, I love them too. Um, I just want to be that person that either I always needed that or that I know people need,
Mhm.
and especially for my family. I want to be that person. So my nephews, my nieces, all of them will know when they're older that they can always come to me with anything, and I've got
I
them.
love
Auntie
it.
got their back. Auntie loves y'all.
And Maria, you have that switch because you have an obsession with vehicles, obviously. I love it. But then also you model. So it's like you're a muscle girl, but then you're a muscle girl, and then you also walk the runway. Talk to us about being able to kind of switch between those type of roles.
Yeah, so for a while, in your like super early 20s, you're kind of trying to find yourself. And I just got to the
Mhm.
point where I was like, I'm going to try everything and just see what I like. So kind of got into everything. And then I just kind of realized like I don't really have to choose, you know? Why
Yeah.
can't I do it all? Because I'm sitting here doing it anyways. So one thing that I really want to show a lot of women is that we are built to handle so many different things in our life. Like women just do so many things without even realizing it and thinking about it. So that's things that we're built to handle. So I really truly enjoy that and just showing people that you can do whatever you want and you can be anything you want and don't limit yourself to certain roles.
I like that. Ian, do you have
I love it.
anything to add to that, or do you have any questions for them?
Um, I don't think there's enough good things I could possibly say about these two, to be honest. So part of the notes that I sent earlier about AZ, pretty much as a football player, I know that her numbers individually never don't jump off the page. As a defensive lineman, most times they don't. But if you turn on the film, she's constantly double teamed, triple teamed, and freeing up her linebackers to just go wreak havoc, which is amazing. So a little bit of the stat that you mentioned earlier. So as a team, the Bandits, they combined for 39 tackles for loss and sacks, which is midway of the league. But they had 20 pass defenses and interceptions, which was tied for second in the league. So AZ was a catalyst for a lot of that happening. If you go watch the film, like I said, she was just an absolute menace. She allowed, linebackers like Amber Kraft to run free and just create havoc for defenses or for offenses. She allowed her defensive backs to get their hands on the football because the quarterback was pressured or had to get out the pocket. So I think that her impact goes a lot further than numbers. And even with Maria, Maria is probably one of at least the top 20 straight line fastest people who play women football. The reason why I say top 20 is because there's literally 3,000 women who play football. So it's a little tough, Maria. I'm sorry.
That's fair.
But I think if there was like an elite category of speed, Maria's there. I can recall like the first game she played in Portland a few years ago. She had a run where she put a player on like on skates so bad,
Ooh.
so bad. I think you remember the play we're talking about, where you
I do.
came when you came to your own team sideline, juke someone up, and then just cut in and took off the field for another 40 yards. There's very few athletes who play women's football who can do that. It's amazing to see. Honestly, it's phenomenal. So like how we also mentioned, she scored a 90-yard touchdown. There was literally only in women's football between the WNFC and the WFA, which are the two main leagues that I follow the most. I apologize to everyone else. There were a dozen people who had a touchdown for 90 yards or more, and Maria was one of them, which is impressive. So we're talking about 5,000 offensive and special teams plays. She was one of 12 people who had a 90-yard or longer touchdown.
Mm.
Amazing.
I
And
did
that was to
not
start
know
a
that.
game off, to open a game, opening kick.
I just, I,
So
I'm sorry. I
yeah.
just want to add to that because I was fortunate to cover some of those games in person,
Hmm.
and not only that, I really felt like the Kansas City team was in one of the more competitive conferences.
Oh, absolutely.
So we're talking about, these are numbers going against some of the top tier athletes in the league,
Yes,
right? So.
absolutely.
Um, So, and I just kind of want to dive back into something in regards to the future generation of women. And this is something that I want each one of you to answer. What message do you have for the future generation of women football players?
You
I'll
can
take
go first.
I'll take it first. I'll take it first.
Okay.
The message that I have in for the future generation is don't hold back. Don't dim your light. Be you. Play the sports you want to play. Do what you want to do, because it's limitless. You can do whatever you want to do and whatever you set your mind to. Like that's one of those things that uh, we have to remember. No one can dim our light. Don't let them.
And Maria?
I would say, something that I always told like my college athletes when I was training them. I mean, some of them were like the same age as me, but I just remember when I first went into college, like it was one of those things where, okay, what's next? I feel like there has to be something next. I have to have everything planned out. There has to be steps. And my biggest advice would just be do what you love and enjoy it because it can be, it can be a lot being in this game. I'll be completely honest. Being a female athlete, it's not, but you just have to be so sure of yourself and just love your life so much and what you do and love the people around you and the people who support you and the people who love you, that none of the outside noise matters. Because I mean, it affects us all. It gets me sometimes, I'll be honest, but when you just what your calling is and what you're meant to do, you can just tune those things out so easily. So definitely just stay true to who you are, 100%.
I love it. I appreciate those responses. Ian, did you have anything else that you wanted to add?
So pretty much like this is an area where I try not to comment too much on because I'm a man. I'm a male. I can't identify what it means to be a female athlete, but I can identify what it means to be an athlete. And I think that has changed my perspective a lot on women's sports, where um, if you have a very hyper competitive female athlete, a lot of times people will deem that as a negative, and it's a little head scratching when you really look at it. When it's like we as a society we don't get on male athletes for being cocky or boastful or whatnot. So it's a little confusing when there is a woman who is playing a sport and for lack of better word she's busting everyone else's ass um and she knows it, and people like want to get on her because she's not being very ladylike, and that's a little head scratching to me like when you really look at it. So I mean, I think my best advice to like anyone who's younger and wants to play a sport is just go do it. Ultimately, you're going to have those who love you who are going to want to support you, but you're also going to have those negative, people who are going to be in your DMs. I'm pretty sure both Maria and AZ can probably pull up about a dozen of hateful messages they get from strangers on social media saying that they shouldn't play football or I'll lay you out if I played. It's ridiculous. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Um, in many ways, like I would hope that they would be faster or be able to beat you guys at a one-on-one in football because they've had their whole life to play the game. They're also bigger, stronger, maybe a little faster, but ultimately it doesn't mean they're a better football player. So I think to everyone who's, growing up playing sports, whether it's soccer, whether it's basketball or whatever, just go do it. Just go do it. And just don't look back. Just know that there are tons of resources out there to to continue to grow in the game and to hit that next plateau of what's next. Yeah, with flag football joining the Olympics, it's just crazy. There's actually a couple players who are playing this game who are on Division 1 scholarships for flag football in college. So there are avenues to advance in this game, and the game is growing. And like I said, there will be true professional women's football by the end of this decade. I can almost guarantee it. And there's some young girl out there playing football right now who's going to be amazing, and she's looks up to all of these athletes right now. So I would hope that all the current athletes understand that the generation coming behind you, they're watching you guys. It may not you guys may not get the opportunity to be on the big main stage, but I promise you, you're setting the foundation for those coming behind you. And
Absolutely.
and hopefully you guys are very aware of that and very appreciative of what you're doing for the sport of football and women's sports as a whole. So just keep going to all those young girls out there playing, whether your sports basketball, football, soccer, tennis, whatever. Keep going.
And pay her.
Yes, eventually. Yes, we're going to get there.
Pay
We're
her.
100% going to get there. Absolutely.
Yes. So I've had a good time doing
Mm.
this. Maria, we know that you're ahead of time 2 hours, so we won't hold you too long and
Yeah.
tardy. But Maria, Team Blitz, AZ, Team Grinch, you guys have been quiet. I feel like we've had more noise in the group text than what we have right now. It's okay. But go ahead and leave those final messages. You're both the first representation of Team Blitz and Team Grinch going into this ninth annual event. Go ahead and drop some I don't even know what to say. Drop some bombs, drop the mic, whatever you want to say.
Some final words.
Final words. Yeah, let us hear it.
So I'm super excited. When I played in this game, it was probably the most fun I ever had playing football, and I got that same response from many others that played in this game. I'm sure AZ did too. So it's just I feel like it's a good chance for us to just let loose and play natural and just have fun. but we're gonna have fun. But it's about business, Az. So go and tell him. Go tell him. It's all love though,
Round two. All right, Az, it's
um,
on you.
I'm just gonna say this. I, I'm a I will always forever be a Blitzen at heart, but I switched over to the dark side because I'm gonna be the Grinch who stole Christmas, and Team Grinch gonna steal Christmas from Team Blitzen. That's all I gotta say. Free AG, and hey Maria, call me an ankle biter. You ain't taking my ankles. I'm biting on yours.
hey, I just want to let you know I'm leaving room in my suitcase to put your ankles in there, so you don't got to worry about that.
Ooh.
Ah,
Ooh.
ah.
Oh
Maria,
my
you
goodness.
woke up. You woke up from that last hit. Hold on,
Hey,
you dreaming
no.
right now?
Okay. Tone it down. No, I'm playing.
It's all
This
love.
is what I'm ready
Oh,
for. I'm ready for it. So before we end, I always like to give a huge shout out to contributors. I wasn't able to find everyone's information, but Ian, this is something I'll work with you with. But some of the photos today were provided by Brenda, and so thank you so much for allowing us to use
Shout out
those
Brenda.
photos. And
Team
I
Brenda
look
Media.
forward to working with all the media personalities and all of the photographers and the videographers so that we can showcase these amazing athletes. This November 16th, Las Vegas. Meet us there. If you need to, a roommate for Airbnb or something like that, is there like a group chat? Is there like a group anything where people can communicate?
So the teams kind of have their own for the most part, but there isn't like I guess a public one.
Okay.
But I know the goal is to get the location set by the end of this week and hopefully set up room blocks for players who want to take advantage of that at some local hotels. So I promise you, as soon as I have that information, I promise you it'll be out public. It would be really nice to get as many people at the same hotel, or even have like a team bonding event the night before, especially after, because I know there's gonna be something after, 100%. And I will try to be a little bit less of a grandpa and actually attend, and not just attend for 10 minutes and then just leave like I did last year. I think I showed up to like last year's, was there for like 12 minutes, and I think I said goodbye to one person and I just dipped and went home, went to sleep. So I'm gonna do better this year, I promise.
I'm sure you were working hard. We're not going to judge you for that. It's okay. So,
It's exhausting. It's
I
an
might judge you a
exhausting
little.
day.
I bet. So, any final messages from anyone before we end tonight?
thank you for having us.
I know. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you so much.
No, thank you for giving me your time. I'm very honored. So,
Absolutely.
yes, and I look forward to next week. I don't know the exact date of the next show, but our goal is to continuously feature some of these professional athletes until November 16th, where we get to see these ankles being put on the line. And is there anything else?
So I'd like to give a quick shout out to everyone who's pretty much helped continuously since the game started. Honestly, without Brianna Griggs, who's playing in this game, there probably would not be a women's game. So everyone, shout out to her. Really good friend of mine. Thoroughly love her. Her and her dad have been involved in the women's game since it started. Her dad's actually coaching in game two. Actually, the 3 o'clock game. So I can't thank either one of them enough. Um, Shout out to the Salem Women's Football Association and also the Capitol Pioneers. Huge supporters of the game, volunteer at pretty much every single event. They're actually traveling to Las Vegas as well, to help volunteer, to help with the gate and sideline stuff, which is pretty cool. Create Your Own Journey. A good friend of mine, Phil DuPont, pretty much hosts a toy drive every single year. We're working on hosting a flag football tournament up here in the Pacific Northwest in December to go with this campaign as well. There's tons of people that I'm sorry if I'm forgetting you. People who've been very involved, very supportive. Tons of players who haven't participated who are probably more excited to participate in the event than I am hosting it. I can't wait to meet players like AG, Mary Woodard, Cassidy Winter, Amanda Congialdi. So many. There's so many names, so many people that I can't thank enough for wanting to play. And I can't wait to meet you guys. Shout out to the head coaches. Rodney McCurry from the Seattle
Man,
Majestics.
shout out to
Mike,
Coach Rod.
shout out to Coach Rod and Rod We
Yeah.
Team
Trust.
Grinch.
Seattle might be a problem next year. Let's just leave it at that.
Number
Seattle
one
might be a
offense
problem.
last year, yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Coach Mike, who's going to be head coaching the team Blitzen. Him and Coach Rodney were obviously my first two choices. I'm glad they both want to participate this year. Coach Calvin Griggs is coming back as well, which I can't thank him enough. And TJ Marler, former head coach of the Sioux Falls Snow Leopards. Thank you for him coming out. I got coaches from the Nebraska Pride, the Cincinnati Cougars, the Detroit Prowl. Kenji Martin's coming out to coach. Fo Griffin's coming out to coach. Shay Split Toaster's coming out to coach. Um, I honestly, this event couldn't happen with all the players, all the coaches, and volunteers. Like, I mean, granted, it's my idea. I'm the guy behind it, but honestly, without all of you guys, this event wouldn't happen. So, thank you to pretty much everyone who's participating. I can't thank you guys enough.
And thank you, Ian, for staying dedicated to this event. And as the last word, if you would like to be a sponsor, sponsor any of these athletes individually or sponsor the event in whole, like Ian said, contact the Facebook page and we can kind of go from there. If you want to be involved with media, please let us know. We want to make sure we can expand on this event and get everyone involved and cover these athletes in the way that they deserve to be covered. So if there is nothing else, AZ, Maria, thank you so much for your time. I look forward to the rematch. Ian, thank you again for allowing me to be a part of this and the coverage provided
Oh,
by
absolutely.
Sonora Live. And of course, a huge thank you to Toys for Tots and what they do for children across the nation. And we look forward to hopefully breaking a record with donations this year.
That's the goal.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Not everyone.